What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Amateurs Podcast. Today we are going to be doing our Big East Conference preseason preview. Last year we called this conference the Big Least.
But it
Are they
wasn't.
running it back?
It wasn't. It turned out I think we were a little wrong on the top of the conference. The rest of the conference was pretty crappy.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched our SEC preview, do that already. This video is going to be a little bit shorter. There's only about 9 or 10 teams in the Big East. We're going to go by alphabetical order. And you ready to get into it?
Yeah, quick shout out to Lawrence Moten, passed away very recently. Syracuse legend, all-time leading scorer. Syracuse, obviously they're in the ACC now, but just a little bit younger than me, and that's a shame.
Yep. And so starting up, we have the Butler Bulldogs, and it's a bad omen for them because a black cat just crossed, as we said, their name. Butler, I have zero expectations for them.
Yeah, I have them in level four. They return Finley Bizjack, who's a nice player. They bring in a guard, 6'5" Butler from Drexel. A kid from Fort Wayne. I mean, he was dominant, Jackson, but it's Fort Wayne. And then kind of two wild cards here. Oliogu is
Yeah,
one.
he's good.
Yeah, one site had him as the fourth best freshman. And
From
then
Canada, from Canada.
yeah, um, Michael Ajayi.
Yeah, I actually like that transfer pickup from Gonzaga. Obviously, he didn't ball out there, but I think that's one of their better pickups. And Johan Traore from SMU, another guy that's kind of underperformed throughout his career, but had a lot of high school pedigree.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, they weren't good last year, and then they lose, I think their three top scorers. Um, and they
But
uh,
you don't have them at five. You think where do you slot them?
probably five. Like this is a bottom of the tier conference. I mean, bottom of the conference team.
Well, we haven't even gotten to some of the others yet. All right.
All right, but I mean, we're one off there. Creighton Blue Jays.
I'm
Um,
sorry. You mean the Iowa Hawkeyes?
yeah, they do have a couple guys from Iowa. This team, I think this will be, though they're not going to be as good as they were in years prior, but this is a good team.
Yeah, I have them tier two. I
Yeah,
think
and I
they're.
think as long as McDermott's running the show, they'll always be pretty competitive. Obviously, they lose basically their starting five. They lose an insane amount of production. But, they returned Jackson McAndrew, who had a promising freshman year last year. He should make the jump. And then they got some really intriguing transfers.
Yeah, well, the two kids from Iowa are proven. Freeman's a 6'10", 17-point scorer. Dick's 6'6", 14-point scorer.
Yeah, Dick's good. He can shoot it. I'm more looking at the Blake Harper, average
Yeah.
20 as a true freshman at Howard. Will
Yeah.
that uh produce at this level? That's a big question.
Yeah, I agree. And then you have a kid, Nick Graves, who averaged 18 at Charlotte. So I like this team. It's not. I don't think they're a national title contender by any stretch, but I think they're comfortably in the tournament.
Yeah. All right, next up we have DePaul. And I'm sorry for every DePaul fan. Your misery will continue. This team is not good.
Wow, I have the. I'm torn between three or four for them.
That's not good.
Well, but for DePaul, it's really good. They return Leighton Blocker, proven guy, not necessarily a game changer. CJ Gunn and NJ Benson. I don't know why they like the initials so much. They're decent forwards. This kid Caleb Bank from Tulane, a lot of size, and then this kid Mila Jasovic is a 6'2" shooter. From Eastern Europe. I'm not sure where, but he's pretty highly touted. I, I don't think they're terrible.
There's 0% chance this team goes over 500 in conference.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
just not good. It's not good.
Speaking of not good,
Well, I'm not, Georgetown is next up, and I think they're certainly better than DePaul.
wow. It is the return of the Mac, Malik Mack.
They were
But I
they weren't good last year, and they lost two NBA players, right? And PV and
yeah.
Sorber. But I think KJ Lewis from Arizona is a guy that's always been like, hey, he's a step away from being, all conference first team. And then you have Langston Love, who we know he can do, decent player, contributor. You have Jeremiah Williams, who was awful at Rutgers last year, but the year before was their leading scorer, I think, at around 13 a game, right? So he's done something at this level. Then you have Deshaun Harris Smith, who obviously underperformed at Maryland a lot, but has defensive potential. Was a high recruit coming out of high school. Same thing with Vincey Wachukwu. And then you said Malik Mack coming back. I don't think this team is as bad as DePaul. No way.
Well, I have them tier five.
Oh, no way.
You can prove
This
me wrong.
transfer this transfer portal class is so much better than DePaul's.
Yeah,
And
but
Malik Mack
Paul,
is better than CJ Gunn.
but DePaul returned guys and then
They returned
figured
guys
out.
from a trash team, bro.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to disagree on this one. I think they're comfortably tier five. I don't think they're the worst team in the conference, but I think their chances of finishing 500. They brought in transfers who, yeah, we knew
KJ Lewis is a good player.
but they never performed.
I
Lewis was like a 10-point scorer at Arizona and had chances, and Langston Love was under 10 points a game at Baylor, where Baylor's whole is a chuck and duck team. I just disagree that this is good. Maybe they're better than Paul. I'll give you that, but they're not good.
Well, I think KJ Lewis was a sophomore having what is it, 10.8 points a game in Arizona. You can expect to jump.
Okay. All right.
All
We'll
right,
see.
Marquette.
Tier four, I don't understand the plan here.
Shaka Smart is the Dabo Sweeney of college basketball. He refuses to hit the portal. And it's like in this day and age, you either gotta adapt or get out, bro. They lose Cam Jones, who led them in points and assists. They lose
Yeah.
culture guys, David Joplin, Stevie Mitchell, who were productive.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this I don't know what I they didn't get super high recruits. They never do. I mean, I know that's kind of his MO, but I just don't see it on paper. Now,
Yeah.
he could definitely do what he does and produce with guys who we don't know, who aren't high names, but I don't see it.
It's the youngest team in the conference. I mean, Chase Ross is nice. He must see something in his returning guys because the only reason I have him four is Shock Smartest, done well here. But I don't understand it.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree, but I think, yeah, I'll go for. Then we have Providence.
Yeah.
Um, this is an intriguing team. Where do you
Yeah.
have them?
I have him three.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. They lose a good amount of production, but they have some intriguing pieces coming in.
Yep.
Obviously, they return Corey Floyd, who's a nice player. Jason Edwards, big time scorer from Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Um, and then another transfer that I think going under the radar is Jalen Sellers, right? Who averaged 6 at UCF this year because of injury. He didn't play the whole year. The year before, he was their leading scorer at 15 a game at UCF, the Big 12 level. So I think that's kind of a guy flying under the radar because last year he didn't play as much.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is probably the best backcourt in the Big East. If we're right up there with maybe some of the other.
UConn,
Powell, 6'8" transfer, average 12 at Georgia Tech.
he's not that good.
And Oswin, is what he is. He's a rim protector, huge body. And then a couple other guys. Jameer Jones, 6'6" freshman.
Athlete. He's gonna be the most athletic player on this team day one.
Yeah, I think they got a chance here. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up we have Seton Hall. Um, I mean this was the worst team in the Big East last year.
And
I
it will
think
be again.
and that's very much in the realm of possibility for the
Yeah.
Pirates. Because they lose a lot of production off a team that already wasn't good. Their highest returner, 3.5 points per game, just seemed Felton. And then
Yeah.
they got a whole bunch of transfers that I don't think are going to work out.
No, I mean, you get a 5'10" kid from Merrimack, can't shoot.
Bud Clark's a good player, but
Bud Clark's good,
but
right?
I don't know if Merrimack translates when you're 5'10" and you need like
You can't shoot.
yeah, he gets to the rim really well. He can like he was Merrimack's whole team last year. You know, he put up 20 a game, but there's like flaws in his game. He's super ball dominant, which I guess at 5'10" you have to be.
Yeah, I mean, and Cynthia,
Elijah Fisher, it's a kid that's super heralded out of high school, but underperformed at his first two stops before finally, doing something, but it was out Pacific.
can't
So
shoot.
yeah, another guy that can't shoot, but it's like we're getting a lot of mid-major performers here.
Yeah, I agree. You agree? I think they're the worst team in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Parker's a name, was a freshman at NC State, but he didn't really do anything there. AJ State McCray, good defender from Miami, but nothing to write home about.
No, I agree.
And yeah, this team is not good.
No.
We're finally going to get to a good team. It's about time. St.
Yeah.
John's. Wow, I feel
First,
like it's the doom and gloom section through there, man.
first tier.
Yeah, now I'm gonna agree with you, but I'm gonna say I have a lot more questions than the national media is hyping this team up like they're better than last year's team. They can make a run at the championship, preseason number one talk. No, I disagree, but I do think this is gonna be the creme de la creme in the Big East.
Well, them in UConn, yeah. But I mean, look, they have pieces at almost every position. Zuby returns. We saw him. We love his play. He's a
Zuba's a great
warrior.
player.
Dylan Mitchell fills in nicely at the four. Had a good season at Cincinnati. He's rounding into form. Then you got two guys at the small forward. Sellers from Stanford averaged 14, or the kid from Arizona State, Sanon. Then you've got an enigma, Bryce Hopkins, because he's coming off the injury. He's 2 years removed. Didn't do well last year, but he was like all Big East 2 years ago. Ian Jackson, I think he's just going to get better. And he had a good season at North Carolina. And then you get this kid Darling from Idaho State. He's small. He's, I think he was their player of the year. The problem I see here is unless Darling is that guy, and I don't think he is, they don't have a point guard.
Yeah, you said all the positions except for the one. They don't
Yeah,
got passers. We know
no,
Ian Jackson's the gunner. Josiah Sellers getting shots up. Josiah Santa, get to the rim, young fella.
yeah,
Dylan Darling, unless you're going to translate this 5, 6 assists a game over here in a major step up in competition,
yeah,
which I don't know if I see that. I don't know who's going to get Zuby Ejiofor their best player of the ball.
yeah. But they have options. They're deep, and I love that their transfer class may be the best in the nation. It's up there for sure.
No, yeah, it's good class. Obviously, the Bryce Hopkins, in riddled with injuries. How's his lateral quickness? Is it going to be,
Yep.
the same? There's a lot of questions with him. But yeah, on paper, this should be a really good team. Next up,
UConn.
UConn. It's a good team. Really good team. They will be better than they were last year. They had a down year, even though they were, I think, an 8 seed, but I
I think,
expect them to bounce back. They should be a top 4 seed.
yeah, I think they're a tier one.
Yeah.
They have
I mean,
they have options.
I wouldn't tier one's natty contender, Final
Look at
Four favorite.
their backcourt with
No,
Phil Paul,
but
Silas Damari,
yeah.
who had a great season in Georgia, and then you add in Malachi Smith, who is experienced and a plus shooter. That's a good backcourt.
No, I know, but
And I'm not even bringing up Braylon Mullins.
yeah, no, they got a five. They got two real high recruits. But like we saw a solo ball led team last year.
But this is, I
We
mean,
saw we saw what Alex Caravan does when he's not surrounded by studs. when
He's
he has to be
surrounded.
the best player. I know I agree with you. I think Silas Demary is a really good player. I think Malachi Smith is occasionally out of control for Dayton,
Yeah.
or was in years prior, you know. So I would like to see if Dan Hurley like reels him back in or like just lets him go crazy. Terrace Reed, he's solid, but I
I know he didn't average it, but he to me is a double double type guy.
no, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think this team is probably the best team in the Big East. I just think like national championship contender, like I'm very comfortable putting them as like a top four seed. Uh,
Well, that's yeah. I mean, if you think they're better than St. John's, then St. John's shouldn't be in your tier one either. I think I
I
think
said
the
there was major questions with St. John's, and I said I wasn't feeling all the preseason hype that the media was giving them.
all right.
No, this is a good team. This is a really good team.
Yeah, we don't even mention Eric Reeby, 7 foot freshman who was very good in some U something games.
But I
And
mean, let's.
Jalen Stewart is a kid who I watched play, and his numbers were inconsistent, but there are times when he's just electric. So I like this team.
But I would say like I don't think we should rely on Braylon Mullins and Eric Reeby because Hurley doesn't play freshmen like that.
No, but you don't need them. Your backcourt, Ball, Damari, and
No, that's sick. That's a really good backcourt.
yeah,
I think yeah, I think those are really good players.
size and experience. So
No, this
all
is a
right,
really good team. Really good team. Next up, we have Villanova.
I
What
can't
are
even
your
grade
boys
them.
doing over there, man?
I cannot even grade them. I
Another
don't.
thing to note, I don't know if you saw, people saw Devin Askew was out with an undisclosed injury for who knows.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're paying him a lot of money because their other transfers are underwhelming. I was just shocked to hear Kevin Willard. He didn't bring any of his best players from Maryland, brought his young players from Maryland, and I just don't get it. And then he says we're done, and I'm like, you're not done. Like you have money to spend. This is a franchise that has money. They have a big NIL budget. You got a Caden Lewis transfer from, he
Um,
switched from Kentucky. Um, Probably one of the best freshmen in the conference. You return Tyler Perkins, who knows about Askew. Then you have Bryce Lindsey, averaged 13 at JMU. Zion Stanford, big guard, 13 at Temple. All right. And then your low big is Duke Brennan, who was solid at Grand Canyon, but uh, I,
I'll say a couple things, right?
I,
This team will go as the Caden Lewis goes. So if he performs well at the one, you know, five-star point guard, if he plays like a five-star, you know, then my outlook changes. But that's putting a lot on that young man's shoulders. Second thing, this team is so small.
yeah.
Duke Brennan is he's huge, like he's massive, but he's like 6'10 and he's like by far your biggest guy.
Yep. And there's no depth.
Yeah. I will say Bryce Lindsey transfer was probably my favorite guy they got from the portal. I
Well,
like him a
ask
lot.
you
No,
asking
I
if he.
think I don't like Askew. I think he's on his fifth school. He's a guy who was five-star out of high school and literally leveled down at every single stop until he finally had a good year at Long Beach State and was like, wait, now it's my time to go back up. Like, no, bro, certain players, and this is okay, have levels. If you're
Right.
a mid-major guy, right, you could be a superstar at the mid-major level. We saw what you did at Kentucky, Texas, Cal. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, no, bro.
Yeah. It's it. Their high. I've talked about it before. Their hiring process was awful. I Willard has been a decent coach, but this is an awful start. I just don't see it. So I don't know where to rank them. They're not the worst team in the conference. I think somewhere around four, just because they have a lot of experience plus Lewis. Maybe three at best. I mean,
We'll get
four.
to the,
I don't know.
yeah, we'll move on. We'll get to the last team in the conference, Xavier, refitted. with another Patino. We have another Patino in Big East. We're gonna see some
Yeah.
Patino battles. But in my opinion, this team is garbage. This team sucks. This team is
Yeah.
actually, I'm gonna say it really bad. Like Rick Pitino, or not Rick, Richard.
Yeah.
No bueno, brother.
I
And
have them at,
last year they were good. They were
yeah.
good last year. This team's not good.
No, I have them at 4, but I can see them being among the worst teams. You have definitely a contender for the best name in college basketball. All right.
He was
Good
in our
player,
bracket.
good player from Valpo. Pizzato averaged 15 at Evansville. Trey Carroll's a decent pickup, but
But listen to the name. You're saying Valpo, Evansville,
yeah,
North Dakota, Montana,
Phantom.
Florida
Yeah.
Atlantic, post Dusty May. Like these are not transfers I want to be touching, bro. Pause. Um,
You went again with the
but
titty.
but I'm just and they lost so much production, which is expected, when you switch coaches like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, this team is just I
I don't
really
see
don't
it.
like this team at all.
Yeah. Again, I could easily see them being the third, fourth worst in the conference.
Which
Villanova's
we've
better
said
than,
about basically 8 teams.
yeah. I mean, there's a clear top three, right? It's St. John's, UConn, and Creighton. Maybe not in that order, but very close. And then you have I don't know. Maybe they get 4 bids.
I think that would be a good season for them.
Yeah,
If they get 4 bids, I think the conference will be pleased. But I
yeah,
mean, I don't understand, right? Because in this era of NIL, right, where football is king, the Big East, you don't have football. You
yep,
have all the money in the world to throw at your basketball programs, which have in the past been premier programs. I don't understand how there's ever a talent discrepancy at this level. Like, especially when you got like SEC teams who have to spend well over half their budget in the football thing. Why are you not, you know,
yeah.
dominating? I don't understand it. And like, and last year did they only how many bids they got? They got 2 bids, right? Three
Uh,
bids, three with Creighton,
three,
four,
three.
four with Xavier. So four
Yeah,
bids.
right.
But like,
They
come on.
if they do that again, I mean, look, those top 3 teams we mentioned are good. They're should be in the top 25
But
most of the season.
I'm not to harp on Villanova, but like Villanova, you have a FCS football team, bro.
I know. Yeah, the only 2 programs that have a football team of any note are Villanova and UConn.
Yeah.
And UConn's horrible, and Villanova's FCS. I don't understand if you gave all your money to Lewis and ask you, like, come on, what's your
No, they
budget?
didn't though. But like, even fine, Villanova, Xavier, bro. Like, you're giving
Yeah.
all right a mil. I don't think you're giving all right a mil.
No,
Like,
it's
who is getting the money? I don't
yeah.
understand. Like, I think they're just not spending their budgets. But it's like, what's the point of being like the Big East is supposed to have this big advantage? It's been talked about for the past 2 years when it comes to basketball spending, and it's just not there.
No. No, I don't understand it. I mean, obviously St. John's spent
Oh no, yeah,
they
there we go. That's what I'm talking about though. Like, if
yeah.
you have the money, spend it. And I
Yeah.
think that's because Rick's a player. Rick said, "Here you
Yeah, I
go."
mean that. Yeah, their eyes on him, their eyes on Hurley, to a lesser extent, McDermott. Those are top tier, well known coaches, and that's why they have the 3 best teams in the conference. Um, yeah, it's rough. It's really rough.
But it's
Um,
also like, there's I think 2 or 3 new coaches in the conference, and none of
right,
them are bringing their best players over. And
right,
that's like one of
yeah,
the key, that happens in the transfer era. Patino, you didn't get Donovan Dent, you didn't
yeah,
get True Washington.
yeah. Went to
Like,
Miami.
you
Yeah,
got to get those guys, bro. Especially Dent. Come on, man. He spent 3 years with you at New Mexico, right? You level up, Big East. You have money to spend. Throw it at him, bro.
it's the same thing with
This kid's amazing.
yeah. Dent's really good. It's the same thing with Willard. You know,
Yeah,
he had
I mean, you
two,
have guys like we just talked about the kid who went to Tennessee, Jacoby Gillespie.
yeah,
You
and
got
Rodney
Rodney
Rice.
Rice.
Yes.
You got guys that are you.
The way he left was awful. The way they went through the hiring process, he's not my first choice. My first choice is running their athletic program right now. Um, the glory days of Villanova are long gone.
It's
Sad,
true, but
sad.
you know,
You make one bad hiring decision and it will stick with the program for a long time. You have to find
you
a way to
watch college football.
well, you know, um, at least they're not in ESPN's bottom 10. They're honorable mention. So you've got that going for you, but you now play three ranked teams in a row. Um,
If this video gets out before Saturday, I'm predicting 10-7 Gators in the swamp. Texas is the only team with a worse offense than us.
could be, could be. Um,
But yeah, so that was our Big East preseason preview.
Next up,
Now we're gonna get into. I'm gonna say let's do Big Ten.
I started on it. I think we have a difference of opinion about the quality. There are some
And
bad teams. There are
yeah.
Rutgers, maybe one of the
Oh
worst
my
Power Five.
gosh,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
a Steve Peichel, man. His job not safe.
no.
But there's a lot of teams in Big Ten. So let's try to end this video. We'll get you guys out of here. If you're still watching, thank you so much. Do not forget to like and subscribe. And if you disagree with some of our takes, drop it in the comments below. And we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.